Hi, it's Trevor from Ultimatum Theme. Today we're going to take a look at adding a Parallax content section to your layout, a feature that is built into Ultimatum. So here we have the Ultimatum Theme demonstration page, and if we scroll down here we can see the Parallax section start to appear just here as we're going along, and you can see it has a sort of 3D effect to it as it goes up. Now on the Ultimatum demonstration page here, you can see there is content above the actual image that's sliding that you would add separately to this tutorial. So that's what it generally looks like, and that's what we're going to create. And it's relatively simple because this is all built into Ultimatum. So let's go and have a look here first of all. This is a much more simple one that I've made for you, and you can see here there is that same scene. I've made it slightly shorter and it scrolls up and down so that you can see this scene as it goes across the page. How high you make this depends on the content. Okay, so we've already got Ultimatum Theme installed. We've created a child theme, which you must do in Ultimatum. You must create a child theme, and we've gone to templates and then into layouts, and I've created a layout called Parallax Demo. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit that Parallax layout just to create the effect. So it's going to be a rather simple layout just to demonstrate the effect. So here's the layout. I've actually put 3 rows in here, all 100% rows, just for content. At the top here I've got the default loop, which if we go back to here, the default loop contains all of this stuff in. So it's a post with an image and some text and a little pop-up image there. The next bit here is the Parallax section. So just going back to here, that's this section here. And finally, this last bit here, I've used a text widget, which is this widget here, this one. And all I've done in there is put the remainder of the article, and you can see in fact I've used a load of ipsum lorem here, which is that sort of Latin-y type filler that people frequently use when designing websites. So if we take a look here again, this is just about the author, that's me, and some filler text here. And the reason for putting this in here is just to replicate or duplicate what you would have on a real website, where you've got the ability to scroll past this apparently moving window, as it were, the parallax effect. Okay, so relatively simple then. Here we are in our layout. This is the one which we want the parallax effect on. We simply hover over there and go straight down to wrapper CSS. Relatively simple. This will open up and the accordions will all close. The first thing to do is in additional classes here is just to make sure that you've got, type in there the word parallax. Now you can see there's a space after the word parallax just there, and then I've put another one here called Parallax 1. You can call this second bit whatever you want, but it just allows you to add any custom CSS. If we take a look on here, I actually call it Parallax 1 there as well, so you can see that's what I'm aiming for. You don't have to put this second bit in here, it just helps to add a little bit of custom CSS and target it. So there's the word parallax, that's the key bit, followed by a space, followed by Parallax 1. I know these are CSS classes, and if you're used to writing CSS, you're used to putting a period or full stop in front of them. You don't need to do that on here, the program will do that for you. Similarly, on background, we need to set the image. Now I've already uploaded that Barcelona traffic image, so I've uploaded it and it's popped the URL in there for me. If you've already got the image in your media folder, then you need to just paste the straightforward URL to it in here. Image location I've set to top left, which is default, and I've set it to no repeat, which also should be the default. And you just click save on that, and once you've saved it, you can close this. In order to give this section here some height, because it won't have any height because there's no content in there at the moment, I've added this extra bit here, which is the padding bottom. That's all that does. That creates height here. So you don't need this if you've got some text or something filling this space here. So let's just repeat, you do not need this padding bottom bit if you've got some filler in here already. If you've got nothing in here, or you just want to see how it's working, then you will need this padding to start off with. The key thing is this background cover we're going to attach. That's because my image is nowhere near as big as this. It's only about 2/3 the width of my screen. And to make it fill the screen, I'm going to use background size cover, and that's something you can't set at the moment in here. So that's something I'm going to add. So let's move over to the theme editor here, and we can see here that I've installed an extra plugin called WP Editor. I've disapplied it to posts, so I've left my post editor as normal, but it then gives you an extra menu here, called menu item here in appearance, called Theme Editor. So when you go in here, it gives you a warning about being very careful not to make any dangerous changes, because it could lock you out of your theme. However, we're not going to do anything dangerous because we're only working with CSS. PHP, on the other hand, is something that could cause problems. Over here on the right hand side, you can see all the files that I've already got, and in my particular case I've already got a Parallax CSS file. You can call that from within functions. You may instead wish to simply go to custom CSS here and template wide custom CSS there, and all you would need to do is to pick up this code here, so just copy it from my site and pop that into there. That is all you would need to do. And remember, you don't need that padding bottom if you've got some other content that's going to be sitting in here, a widget or something. So that Parallax 1 there was the CSS class I added in addition inside here, and you would save that and close it. So that's a quick and simple way of adding custom CSS. In my particular case, in the theme editor, I'm using a separate custom CSS file. Here it is, and you can see there it is, Parallax 1 background size cover. You can see, in fact, I've actually played around with the padding here because I realized that I didn't want the row to get bigger and bigger and bigger as the screen got bigger, so I decided that over a screen width of 1000 pixels I'd just keep it at a height of 400 pixels. So that's all I've done there, but otherwise it's pretty much the same as you will have seen, and you can click update file, and the result, having saved all that, this is that particular layout running and working, and as you can see it is exactly as you want. So relatively simple. I have also had asked of me, can you actually make this appear inside a post as a smaller block? And the answer is yes. If you go onto the Ultimatum website and have a look in the blog there, you will see the post that I made, and that one there shows an example of it being done. What you have to do is manually load the Stella JavaScript file, and you have to manually add a little bit of coding into the div or whatever it is you're going to apply it to. So it is a bit more complex, so it's outside the remit of this particular tutorial, but it is possible to add it to a simple div inside a post as well as the background to a wrapper, but Ultimatum is set up just to add it to the background of a wrapper as it is being done here, and indeed as it has been done here. And you can see this wrapper here has got big enough to cope with all of the content that's in here. And in this one you can see they haven't used background cover, so it repeats itself across the page, which doesn't look as nice as this one does when you've got it just going across the page. So the size of your image is quite critical to this working correctly. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next tutorial.